Hello and welcome back to Match Week Breakdown. This was a good match week actually, a very good one. There was a lot of goals, there was a lot of late goals as well, and also just a quick question. I want to know what your definition of a late match winner is. Is it in like the 80th plus minute? Does it have to be a good goal or just a bad scrappy goal, but it's like late? What is your definition of a good late winner? Because mine's like 80 minutes plus, and it's normally a banger. But yeah, I just want to know what your definition is. But anyway, here we are with match week 3. Like I said, a lot of good games and a lot of surprises actually as well. A lot of games that I weren't expecting to go the way that they did, but they went that way, and we're going to talk about them all now. So we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to go in game order. I'm going to tell you the goals and who they were scored by. Sorry, just doing something. There we go. Yeah, we're going to tell you who they were scored by, and I'm going to go a bit into what I liked. So yeah. So first of all, we got Chelsea and Fulham. It was a 2-0 win for Chelsea. Goals scored by João Pedro and Enzo Fernandez. Um, I really enjoy Chelsea at the minute. Um, I hate them as a club, but I like they're decent. They're decent at football. They're very good at football. Um, a goal for João Pedro, obviously his first at Stamford Bridge since he's joined the Blues, and then Enzo Fernandez with a penalty literally 2 minutes after João Pedro scored. Um, I think Chelsea were very good. I think they dominated a lot of this game. Obviously, 54% possession, 13 shots, 6 on target, 2.35 xG, which is a very, very good performance by Chelsea. I think if I had to, if I had to say what signing of the summer was so far, I would go João Pedro. I genuinely think I would go João Pedro. In pre-season in the Club World Cup, I don't think he's been in a Chelsea game so far where he hasn't scored. And if he has, there might have been one, like, because he scored a double on his debut, and then he scored the game after that against Palmeiras, I think it was. And then he scored one against PSG, I think. And then he scored in the first 3 games for Chelsea in the league, which I find very, very good. So if I had to say signing of the summer so far, mine would be João Pedro. But obviously, you can all make your own minds up. And then Enzo Fernandez, following on from last season, where he had a very good end of his season, actually. And I was very tempted to put him in my FPL team, but I didn't. And now I feel a bit silly, if I'm completely honest. But yeah, I think Chelsea played very well in this game, and I think they deserve to win. Obviously, still no Cole Palmer. He's obviously out with an injury at the minute. I believe it's a groin injury, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I believe it is a groin injury. Yes. Um, but yeah, I don't really think that Fulham got a look in this game. Obviously, they had 11 shots, but I think only 3 of them were on target. Yeah, only 3 out of their 11 were on target. 46% possession, not passes completed. They had 4 saves, which I think is very good for Leno. Leno's got to be getting on a bit as well. He's fairly old because I remember he was an Arsenal player for a bit. But yeah, I think Chelsea deserved it. I think they're going to do very well this season. I'm expecting Champions League if I'm completely honest. And if they don't get it, I think they'll be disappointed, and I will be very shocked if I'm completely honest, because I think they're going to keep going on like this the whole season. Would it be a title charge? Maybe. Who knows? Enzo Maresca does seem to be going in that direction so far with this Chelsea team, but we'll see. And obviously, yeah, I'll keep you posted. And it's back to back for Chelsea as well, which is always a good one to get off with, really. 3 games, 2 wins, 1 draw. They haven't lost yet, so that's always good. Next game is Man United Burnley, and can you believe it, people? Man United scored 3. Well, they scored 2 technically, but yeah. Anyway, they scored 3, and they actually won a game following on from that penalty loss to Grimsby Town, which, if I'm gonna be honest, was one of the best and worst games I've watched of football in my life. Grimsby played well, if I'm completely honest. I think the problem is when you put a Premier League team against a League Two side, the and you're playing the League Two side at home, by the way. Um, I think they're a lot more physical, but the issue is they're going to run out of steam a lot easier than the Premier League side are. But I think Grimsby played very well, and the Grimsby goalkeeper is a United fan, so I don't think he was too pleased about knocking his team out. But that's just what you got to do as a professional footballer. No matter how much you love a club, you always want to score and win. Um, but yeah, sorry, I'm gonna yawn again. I swear to God. This is a running theme on this podcast now. My yawn is like a running thing. Anyway, I'm going to tell you the goal scorers. So, first, Burnley actually scored first in this game. It was Lyle Foster with a 55-minute goal. And then Mbeumo replied instantly. Actually, no. I'm an idiot. I didn't read it. I didn't read it correctly, guys. Josh Cullen own goal in the 27th minute. Lyle Foster then came back with the goal in 55 minutes. Mbeumo replied instantly with the goal in 57 minutes, his first for the club. Well, in the league anyway. Jaden Anthony in the 66th. Oh my god, that was the worst lisp I've ever had in my life. I've got a lisp, by the way, if you couldn't tell. Jaden Anthony in the 66th minute. There we go, that's better. But yeah, and then it looked like it was going to 2-2, and then Bruno Fernandes. Is that how you say that name? Is that how you say the name, or is it Bruno Fernandes? A lot of people say Fernandes, but I swear I pronounced it Bruno Fernandes. Anyway, Bruno Fernandes scored a penalty in the 97th minute, which I find incredibly rude of him to do, if I'm honest. I was rooting for Burnley because, if I'm honest, if they would have drawn or lost, I think Amram would have either left or got sacked, and I think he's going to leave or get sacked by the end of the season. But yeah, I don't think Man United massively deserved the win. They had a lot of possession and they had 20. This is still the issue for Man United. They have 26 shots and they technically scored 2 of them, which isn't fantastic. I said the same last week when they played Fulham and got a 1-1 draw out of it. Like, they have a lot of attacking moments, and they had them against Arsenal as well. They have so many attacking moments, but they just can't finish off their meals. And it's just, as a United fan, obviously you're happy that you won, but you must be annoyed that you didn't score more. Because it's just like, it's, yeah. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird. Because normally, if a team has 26 shots and they score 3, they're happy that they've won, but it's not a great game, is it? And let's be honest, because it's not. But yeah, it was. Sorry. My words. My word. Don't know what's happening recently, guys. I'm yawning a lot. It's worrying, obviously. But yeah, I think United were okay. They won. There we go. But yeah. But they've got their first win of the campaign, and maybe they'll bounce on. Maybe they won't, and Amram will get sacked anyway, which I think he will, to be fair. And United fans, if there is a United fan listening, please tell me if you think you're better off with Amarim or without Amarim. And speaking of former United managers, Eric Ten Hag got sacked after 2 league games with Bayer Leverkusen because he didn't have a game plan and he wasn't very influential in the dressing room. Which sounds about right for Eric Ten Hag, to be fair. But yeah, anyway, next game. That wasn't Premier League news, but I just thought I'd let you all know, just if you're not aware. Wow, I'm yawning, guys. I'm yawning. I'm yawning. I'm not yawning anymore. Don't worry. Rightio. So Sunderland, Brentford next, and it was all very late goals. To be fair, Brentford scored from Igor Thiago. I believe that's how you say his name, in the 77th minute. Which, if I'm Brentford, I'm thinking that's the winner right there. Sunderland might not have a way back. But they did have a way back, and an Enzo Lafite penalty in the 82nd minute. And I'm watching, and I'm going, all right, it's a draw. That's a decent result for both teams, to be fair. And then the unthinkable happens, and Wilson Isidore scored in the 96th minute for Sunderland, which is mental. I enjoy Sunderland. I like Sunderland a lot. I think that if I had to put in my bets for who's going to stay up, I said this in the first Game Week episode. I said Sunderland, man. I said Sunderland. I've been saying this since the middle of the transfer window that they've done really good business so far, and I think they're going to stay up. And I do think that. Do I think Brentford? Do I think Keith Andrews are going to sack? Oh my! What am I even saying? Do I think Brentford are going to sack Keith Andrews? Yes. Do I think that they will find a better manager than Keith Andrews? Absolutely yes. Because Keith Andrews is a set piece coach. He's not a head coach. He's not. I'm not going to say he's not good, but he isn't really good, is he? He's not a good manager. He, and I think if I had to place bets between who's going to get oh my god, English is a real struggle, guys. English is a real struggle today. If I had to place a bet between who's going to get sacked first out of Keith Andrews and Graham Potter, it's a tough one at the minute. And I'm going to get onto why it's a tough one later, because we haven't got onto the West Ham game yet. But yeah, I think that Sunderland are going to stay up, and I'll be very happy if they do, to be fair. Um, but yeah, that's their second victory of the campaign, which is very good, and that pushes them up into sixth place. Obviously, we're 3 games in, so it doesn't really matter where they are right now. But the other two who got promoted aren't in relegation places either. The bottom 3 right now is Wolves, Villa, and Fulham. That's a good point as well. Will Vita Pereira get sacked, or will he leave? I don't know. Because they haven't won in their first 3, and they've conceded 2 in every game. Or more than 2 in every game. That's crazy. But yeah, and Villa. Villa are a shock to be in the bottom 3, and then Fulham are obviously there as well. Newcastle are lurking above it. But that's because they don't have Isak, and they definitely don't have Isak now. By the way, when I finish all these games, I'm going to go into deadline day, because that was obviously, at the time of recording, that was yesterday. And the time of this going out was yesterday as well, to be fair. I'm going to release it on the same day, because why the hell not? You can't force me. But yeah, 2-1 win for Sunderland. I'm very happy, actually, because, yeah, I like Sunderland a lot. Next up is Tottenham Hotspur and Bournemouth. Obviously, going into this game, I'm going to be honest, I expected a Spurs win. Hold on, a yawn. Well, yeah, run theme is still going on. Still going strong with the yawns there. But yeah, I think I believed that Spurs were going to beat Bournemouth at the end of this game. Or at the end of this game, before the game began, I was with my girlfriend who is a Spurs fan, and yeah, I believed that they were going to wipe the floor, if I'm honest, with Bournemouth. Obviously, Bournemouth aren't a bad team. They performed well in their opening game against Liverpool. But Bournemouth won. 5 minutes and Evan Nilsson scores, and then Spurs play, if I'm being honest, terribly, and can't get back into it. It's honestly one of the worst games that I've seen of Tottenham ever. If you look at the XG, by the way, I know it doesn't matter, and XG is a pointless one, but I'm just saying, you have a 0.19 out of 5 shots, and one of them are on target, and your pressing is also terrible. Because it was, and no one can say it wasn't. Tottenham's pressing was terrible. And Bournemouth deserved to win that. But if I had to, yeah, I thought that Tottenham were going to win, and it's just how Spurs are, if I'm honest. You go back and you see, they beat, Man City, who are one of possibly the best teams in the world, depending on how they do in European competition this season. But yeah, you look at Man City and you go, Man City, obviously one of the best teams in the world. And Tottenham beat them 2-0, and then the other game against Bournemouth, and you go, well, they've got to wipe the floor with them. They wiped the floor with City, why can't they do it against Bournemouth? But they couldn't do it against Bournemouth. And I learnt a stat yesterday that said the last 9 times that Tottenham have beat Man City, they've lost their next game, and the run has continued. The run has continued. Um, I don't mind Tottenham as a team. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't mind them as a team. Do I think that they are a bit overrated sometimes? Yes, but I think overall they're a good team, and I think Xavi Simons is going to fail. I don't know how you will feel about that. But I said this with Fabian Wirtz as well when he signed. No, Fabian Wirtz. What am I on about? Florian Wirtz. I don't know where Fabian came from. I think I was thinking of Fabian Herzler, and I don't really know why. But yeah, Florian Wirtz. I said it about him, and I just don't think they're obviously very technically good players. Like they're good with their feet and they can run past players, but that doesn't matter in the Premier League because the physicality of the game is so high and it's so quick paced, and I don't think they'll be able to keep up with it. Will they adapt? Yeah, they'll adapt to it, but I just don't think that they're ready at the moment. If it was next year when they can improve a bit more, yeah. Do I think I was about to say Fabian Hertz again. Fabian Wirtz again. But do I think Florian Wirtz was worth the money right now? Absolutely not. 150 million for a player who hasn't scored or got an assist is extremely bad, and he's not exactly playing well either. Um, he has like one or two decent moments a game at the minute, which is for a player who was 150 million, like I said, just not good enough. The standard of his performances so far have been really low. Um, but next game, obviously, sorry, going on still. Obviously, getting a goal and I believe he got an assist. He didn't get a goal. He did get an assist. And having all the creative play run through you in the Community Shield is a big boost lifter. But once you get into the Premier League, you're gonna get blown out the water by everyone. And Florian Wirtz is getting exactly that. And I think Xavi Simons is going to have the same reality check when he joins Tottenham. And I think the reality check is he's not ready. The German league is a much different league from the Premier League, and I don't think he's going to be able to cope. Yes, he will evolve, and he will be ready for it. But right now, absolutely not. No. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I might be wrong. Who knows? Um. So next game is Wolves versus Everton, and Jack Grealish got another two. He got another two assists in this game, just like he did last game. Um, I think he's going to be honestly their best player this season. I don't see how he flops. Will he flop? No. He's going to be like prime Jack Grealish again, and I'm excited to see it. If I'm honest. Um, but yeah, Dewsbury Hall got a goal. Beto got a goal. Illyman enjoyed. Jack Grealish with two assists. It was a good performance. And playing against Wolves, who, in fairness to them, did score two in this game. Obviously, Huang Hee-chan and Rodrigo Gomez scored two. And they had more possession, more shots. It, but it was David Moyes is wanting to transform this club and to make them European contenders again. And I'm not saying he might, but he might. They're in fifth at the moment. And I think if they don't get Conference League, it will be considered right now. Sorry. Ugh, yawning again. Sorry. If they don't get at least Conference League, I don't think it'll be a very good season for them. If I'm being completely honest, because they look so good right now. They've won back-to-back games, which is a very, very good thing. Um, but yeah, they. It was a very competitive game. I do have to say that though. Obviously, 3-2 is a great scoreline for neutrals, but when you're on the receiving end of a loss 3-2, you've got to feel like all your hard work just came to nothing. Like you put all that work in for absolutely no reason. Um, but I'd be proud if I was an Everton player, man. Like 3-2 is not an easy scoreline to get, and the fact that they got it, well done. Tyler Dibbling didn't come on for his and if I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I think that Tyler Dibbling is going to be very, very good at Everton. Obviously, he was a Southampton player last season, but yeah, I think Tyler Dibbling's gonna have a good game. He didn't come on in this game as a substitute. Depending on who they're playing next, he will probably come on. Let's just see who they're playing next, lads. Let's just have a look. See, Villa. I think Everton are gonna win. I'll be completely honest with you. I think Everton are gonna wipe the floor with Aston Villa. Um, as it looks right now, I think they are. Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, very competitive game for Everton. I think their game plan worked perfectly in places. Um, but yeah, next game. I didn't say all the goal scorers. Damn it. Beto, Iliman Njai, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall for Everton, and then Hwang Hee-chan and Rodrigo Gomez. I'd just like to say something about how. Oh wow, my list came through there. Wow, that's really bad. I'd like to say something about Hwang Hee-chan, about how of an on and off player he is at the moment, and just throughout his career. I remember. Who remembers that season? About 2 seasons ago, I believe, when Hwang Hee-chan, before the World Cup, I believe it was, because we had a World Cup break in the middle of the season. Um, but Hwang Hee-chan just didn't stop scoring, and obviously after that World Cup period, um, I he just didn't score. But other than that, I think Hwang Hee-chan is on and off at the moment. He can score goals, but it's not like as consistent as he used to be. But next game is Leeds Newcastle, and I think Leeds did well to get a draw out of this, to be fair. I don't think that Newcastle were fantastic. I don't think that Leeds were fantastic. I think they were both okay. They were both alright. Obviously, Newcastle are dangling over that edge of getting relegated. Um, like always, it is just 3 games in, so we can't say anything. But without Isak, and definitely without Isak now, like he isn't playing for the club again. He's going to play for Liverpool, which we will get onto later. Um, but yeah, it was just a boring game to be completely fair with you. Lot. To be honest, I there was nothing really to report on. It was a 0-0 game, fairly boring. Um, nothing really happened. Yeah, I don't really know what else you want me to say. There's nothing else to say, to be fair. It was just boring. Yeah. But there we go. Obviously, Leeds are very defensive in this game, and I feel like that was the game plan to come in and just be defensive and get a draw out of. They weren't trying to win. Newcastle were trying to win, but Leeds just kind of sat back and just went, "Come on, then we'll just absorb everything you're throwing at us and then break off by ourselves." But obviously they didn't score. Newcastle didn't score. Yeah, and Leeds. I would like to say this. Leeds have become the first promoted side to keep a clean sheet in both of their opening 2 home matches, which is a big achievement. I think I think their home form is going to be really important this season. Obviously, they had a good home record last season with conceding and scoring goals. That 100-point season in the championship, and I think that's going to be really important going into this season. And I think they'll use it to great effect. Next game is Brighton Man City, where Erling Haaland seemed to make City win, but then James Milner and Brojan, is that Brojan? Yeah. Or is that Brajan? Someone tell me how that name's said. But Gruder. Gruder's the second name. Not Brojan Groomer, it's Brojan Gruder. Um, Scored in the 89th minute. 80? 80? What did I just say? Did I say 80 or 80? I feel like I said 80. But I meant 80 in the 89th minute to get the win for Brighton, which is a shock result. And it is a shock result because you would expect Man City to win, but they've lost 2 games on the bounce, which is crazy. Um, Obviously, Erling Haaland scored because it's Erling Haaland, so what else do you not expect? But that's 2 games on the bounce now where Man City have lost, which is crazy. Um, The Erling Haaland goal was an Erling Haaland goal, you know what I mean? Just pass it across and he's always there, which is like well done for him. Well done, Haaland. Great work, man. Um yeah, he scored and then James Milner scored a penalty in the 67th minute, which makes him the second oldest goal scorer in Premier League history, only being overtaken by Teddy Sheringham, which is a very good milestone. And I don't know how many I don't know how old James Milner is, and I can't remember how old Teddy Sheringham was when he became the oldest goal scorer. Let me try and find out just quickly. Um, hold on, and hold on. Statistics. No, that's not what I needed. I'm just gonna have a look because I want to tell you lot, how old they were. I might not be able to find it. I can't find it, but Teddy Sheringham, I believe, was 41. I think. Um, There is nothing on statistics. Anyway, yes. Gruder was bought on. Oh my god, I can't say words. So Brojan Gruder, which is how I'm going to say his name, was brought on in the 61st minute. James Milner was brought on in the 60th. Um, but Brojan Gruder rounded, he rounded James Trafford, and then just put it into the back of the net. It was really well taken from Gruder. I believe that Trafford is out of his depth, and I think it was a mistake bringing him back to the Premier League at such a well-renowned club, if you see what I mean. So James Trafford obviously had a superb season at Burnley, um, but I just don't think he's ready. But Man City have signed a new goalkeeper, maybe just to give James Trafford some time. Um, and obviously we're going to get into that later in the episode. Oh my god, what happened? There we go. Um, but yeah, I think James Trafford is out of his depth a little bit with the Premier League at the minute. He is still very young, obviously. But I think just you should have left him at Burnley, if I'm completely honest. Just one more season at Burnley, and then you can bring him back once he's had that experience in the Premier League with a lower side. Just to see how well he does and if he can save them possibly. Who knows? Unless Burnley do very well and stay up, which they could do. Um, but yeah, I think James Trafford was a mistake. But with Man City signing Gianluigi Donnarumma, who is, in my opinion, the best goalkeeper in the world, that will give James Trafford some time to adapt and play in some of the cup games for Man City. Um, Next game is I didn't say the goal. I did say the goal scorers. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Sorry, guys. I didn't say. I did say the goals. Oh my god, I can't. Right, next game. Anyway, is Nottingham Forest and West Ham, where West Ham decided to become prime Barcelona in the last 7 minutes and score three. I don't know how else to. Yeah, that is pretty much it. Um, Coming into this game, I was just like, Nottingham Forest are going to wipe the floor with West Ham because West Ham are shite at the minute. I was going to say the other one, but that would have been a naughty word. Um, but yeah, I thought West Ham were going to crumble under Nottingham Forest, but they seem to rise to the occasion and do really well against Nottingham Forest. Um, which might be able to keep Graham Potter's job, possibly. Obviously the goals from Jared Bowen, Lucas Paqueta. Oh my word, I can't say anything. Lucas Paqueta and Callum Wilson, who I think is still a class player, if I'm completely honest. I've always liked Callum Wilson as a player, and I think he's gonna do really well. Um, but yeah, I just don't see how they did it. I don't know. They just decided to be the best players in the world. Jared Bowen scored in the 84th minute. Lucas Paqueta scored in the 88th minute from a penalty, which had a celebration, which was good for him, man. He did the celebration. He put the phone up to his ear, then he declined it and threw it away, which showed that he is dedicated and loyal to West Ham, which is a very good trait for a player to have, and very good for a team to have that type of player. Um, and then Callum Wilson scored in the 91st minute. I wasn't. Sorry. Yeah. Well. Anyway, I wasn't expecting that to happen, but it happened, and well done to West Ham, and well done to Graham Potter for scoring. There was a very nearly Jared Bowen wonder goal here, by the way, where he's just kind of strolling down the wing, and then he gets past Milenkovic, he cuts inside, and he gets past Elliot Anderson, and he is so close to scoring, but Matt Sells denies him brilliantly. Um, but yeah, I think that Jared Bowen was man of the match. He seemed to obviously be man of the match, and he was. Um, and I don't think that's uh, what am I trying to say? I don't think that's a shame to anyone. I don't think anyone looked at him and just went, "Yeah, no, he is definitely not man of the match." But yeah, man, I think it was good. I think it was a very good performance from West Ham. I think it was very assured from West Ham as well. Um, but we'll see. We'll see how they get on. Maybe they'll kick on from this and be very good. But we'll see. We'll see. Do I think West Ham will still sack Graham Potter? Yes, I think they will. Um, But we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see. Um, yeah, I think it was good from West Ham. I think they played very well. And there we go. But next game is gonna break my heart a little bit, if I'm being honest, lads. It's gonna break my heart. Liverpool Arsenal. Liverpool came out on top. In my opinion, should they have come out on top? No. But it was a wonderful goal from Dominic Szoboszlai, wasn't it? That he's about 30 yards out and he just strikes it so unbelievably well. And if you didn't watch the goal and you just saw, oh, it was a free kick, so it might have been very close. He's 30 yards out and he striked it so nicely. Obviously, there are more injury worries now with Saliba injured and Saliba pulling out of the France squad as well, which isn't great for us. I think we had a few shining lights in this game. I think Madueke was very good in this game. I think Timber and Calafiori performed well, and obviously we got our first look at Eberechi Eze, um, which is fun. That's a very fun thing for Arsenal fans to look at. But I think Madueke performed incredibly in this game. The fill-in, obviously, it's not easy to fill in for Saka, but I think he did it incredibly well. One player that I want to get rid of immediately is Gabriel Martinelli. Every decision that he seems to make is the wrong one, and he can't make a correct decision. There was a moment in the first 25 to 30 minutes where he was carrying the ball, and he is quick, right? I'll give Gabby that. He is very quick, and he's very good at carrying the ball through a team. But the way that he does it just doesn't show intent that he wants to score. Do you know what I mean? Like, he will run, and he could have played a ball through to Gyökeres, and if that was Eze, or if that was Odegaard, or if that was even Declan Rice, or Saka, or anyone who had any thought to pass it, he would have played that ball through to Gyökeres, because Konate wouldn't have been able to defend that, and we would have gone 1-0 up, and going 1-0 up in at half-time against Liverpool at Anfield is a good thing. Obviously, it's very difficult to play at Anfield because of how they make the atmosphere in there, but if he would have played that ball through and we would have gone in 1-0 up at half-time, I think we would have won. And I think we're going to win the home leg because we outplayed them. We outplayed Liverpool, but it was just one moment of absolute magic that, yeah, I don't know, man. But Dominic Szoboszlai's free kick is obviously the talking point, and it was absolutely lovely. It was wonderful. And is it a title game? It is a title game, but what I'm trying to say is, will it define who wins the league? And I don't think it will. Um, they still have a perfect record. They're 3 for 3. They haven't drawn and they haven't lost, which is like fair play to them, man. Fair play to them. I don't know if it's a title deciding game. I don't think it is because we're 3 games in, so anything can still happen in this. But I guess we'll see. Okay, we'll see. Um, did we deserve to lose? No. Did we deserve to draw? Maybe in the second half where we looked a bit lackluster in attack. We looked a lot better in the first half, and I thought Madueke was going to score, and I wish he would have, but he didn't, and that's what we got to deal with, and we move, and yeah, he did score in the 83rd minute, which was a big boost for them to win, because then they can just sit back and absorb the pressure, and they did bring on Endo Watara. Or, is it Endo Watara, or is it Wataru Endo? I think it's Wataru Endo, but everyone just calls him Endo Watara anyway, which I don't really understand. But Saliba came off 5 minutes. They bought an Endo Utara. I'm going to call him Endo Utara. I don't care what the Liverpool fans say. They steal tyres for a living. I'm sorry, that was really stereotypical. Anyway, I'm not sorry. Um, but yeah, do I think we deserve something? Yes. Do I think we should have scored in the first half? Yes. Do I think Gabriel Martinelli should be sold? Yes. Do I think Gabriel Martinelli will be sold? Absolutely not, because Mikel Arteta loves him. I think we should have started without him. I think we should have started without Marino. And I said this to my dad and to my uncle because we were away on holiday when we watched this, by the way. I said, why are we starting Marino? And he went, oh, because we're trying to play more defensive, but we have Zubamendi and Rice anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are we starting three defensive players? Obviously, Rice is going to get forward more, but for this game, we should have just said, listen, mate, just sit back a little bit more. Like, you don't need to be rushing forward. Um, and Marino, I just he was decent at striker last season. I didn't like him, if I'm honest. He scored against Real Madrid, which was a great moment. I don't mind Marino, but I don't like him just normally, if you see what I mean. Just in that midfielder, like defensive kind of position, I don't like him there. But yeah, there we go, man. It's just a weird one. But I think we should have started Ranieri, or even just start Max Salmon, or start Eze there, and then like maybe we could have put Madueke on the left, Ranieri on the right, and then put Eze in midfield, or we could have started Lewis Skelly in midfield, or Ethan Ranieri, or Max Dauman. We have so many players who can play in there. Even like Trossard can play in there. Obviously, that's not his normal position, but Trossard is playing in there. And he can play on the left as well, man. It was so. He just loves Martinelli for no reason. Martinelli is so poor. Every decision he makes is the wrong one. Like, it's like he had that one good season when he scored 15 goals and then nothing else mattered. It's so annoying. But we just have to deal with that and move. And yeah, it's really annoying. It's really, really annoying. Um, yeah. Anyway. Anyway, man, let's move on to the next game. And the final game, which is a destroy. Crystal Palace destroyed Villa. They were really poor. They struggled. They really struggled. A Jean-Philippe Mateta pen in the 21st minute. Mark Gahey with a lovely goal. That was a great finish by Mark Gahey. And obviously Ismail Assar, which scored the third. Um, it was it was a poor performance by Villa, wasn't it? It was really poor. But Crystal Palace have been playing well. We've been playing very, 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 very well. Um, and yeah, I think there's not really. I didn't watch the game, so I didn't have a lot to say about it. But yeah, 3-0, poor game. Um, but yeah, it was good, man. It was cool. Um, do I think that Crystal Palace will get European football? Yes, I do believe so. But as I have nothing really to say about the game other than the goals, apart from Mark Gahey's absolutely wonderful goal, um, we are going to move on to something that I've been waiting to talk about, which is the transfer deadline day, which was yesterday. Um, and I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna like say anything else, okay? I'm just gonna say, um, who signed who, and we're gonna go there, okay? So Jadon Sancho is obviously on loan to Man United, and he actually revealed that Marcus Rashford and Unai Emery played major role in convincing him to join Villa. Um, who else? Let's go through them, okay? So Fulham have signed Kusi Asare, which was a Bayern Munich striker. I don't know who he is, so maybe if someone could fill me in on who he is, that would be very helpful. Gianluigi Donnarumma, which I already mentioned, who I think is the best goalkeeper in the world, signed for only 26 million, which is very shocking to be fair. Um, Aston Villa kept Emi Martinez, who I think should have left, but he stayed somehow. Um, Inter Milan signed Akanji on a season-long loan. Ajud went to Marseille on a permanent deal from West Ham. Marseille also signed Matt O'Reilly on a loan, but Fabian Hersler has still said that he's got a Brighton future. I don't know how much I believe that. Edison went to Fenerbahce after 8 years, obviously because they have James Trafford and now Gianluigi Donnarumma. So there isn't a lot of place for Edison to fit in. The biggest signing of the summer and the most expensive in the league, 125 million for Alexander Isak for Newcastle, which annoyed me because Isak gets what he wants after the little crybaby threw all his toys at the phone and went, I'm not going to play for this club because I don't like them anymore. Um, just get over yourself, mate. Just play for the club, and then who knows? Maybe we'll get the move next year. Um, but I hope he fails. If I'm completely honest, I just don't like it. I really hope he fails. If he gets injured, I'll be happy. If he scores, I won't be happy at all, and I'll be really sad, and I'll cry myself to sleep tonight. Um, but yeah, there's Wissa. Wissa obviously is at Newcastle. I believe it is an Isak replacement. But they also have how do you say the name? Walt Marde? Something like that. But yeah, they now have two strikers, which is very good. Arsenal have signed now. Please, again, people, correct me if I'm wrong with this pronunciation, but I believe you say his name as Hincapié. Hincapié? I don't know how you say his name. I thought it was Hincapié, but it's not. I think it's Hincapié. I think. But yeah, anyway, we signed him and on a loan with an option to buy for 45 million. And then we have put Jakub Kiwior out on a loan to Porto, and they have an option to buy for 24 million. And Zinchenko he pulled off a very late deadline day move to Nottingham Forest. And Reece Nelson is on a season-long loan to Brentford, which I think is good for him. I hope he doesn't get injured like he did last time when he went off. Um, Spurs signed Kolo Muani on a loan. I don't believe there's an option to buy there. I don't think so. I don't think there's an option to buy for Spurs from Kolo Muani. Um, that is pretty much everything, to be fair. There's not really much else that happened. Um, yeah, man, I think it was good. It was a good deadline day. I'm very happy. Oh, and obviously, um, there were two new signings for Sunderland, which was oh my word, who was that? Who did they sign? Let me just check quickly. Obviously, Man United signed their new goalkeeper. Um, I hope. I honestly, it would be so happy if he's just bad. I think because then they have four goalkeepers who just aren't good, and I hope he does fail because I want to see Man United fail. Um, they will anyway. Um, but yeah, there was two Sunderland signings, and I'm now looking because I genuinely can't remember who they were. I believe they're both from Leipzig. Oh, and Harvey Elliott went to Villa on a loan, which is the correct move for him. Um, so Sunderland have signed Bertrand Traore from Ajax with he signed a 1 year contract with an additional year possibly, depends how that's it. Um, and this is a weird one. Um, Sunderland signed Mark Guay in like the middle of the window, and then Chelsea recalled him because I don't know why they recalled him. I literally have no idea. And then Sunderland signed Broby from Ajax, which is a really weird one. They signed him, and then Chelsea went, actually, nah, mate, we want to get back. So they got him. But yeah, that is everything from Match Week Breakdown, including summer signings. I know it was a bit of a shorter episode today, um, but I'm still trying to get back into the flow of things after my holiday. There was a lot of pausing, and I respect that. And the mic was quite far away sometimes, so if you didn't hear me correctly, um, just deal with it. Just trying to get back into the swing of things. Um, but I hope you all enjoyed the game week. Next game week will be coming, and I'm very excited for it. There are some big games to be played. I'm telling you that much. There are some very big games to be played. Um, but yeah, I'll see you next time. A goodbye, a farewell, a goodbye farewell, goodbye. Yeah. Anyway, have a good one, and I'll see you later next week with Match Week Breakdown episode 7. I don't know. What episode are we on right now? 6. Episode 7, yeah. See you next week, episode 7. Thank you for watching and listening. See you later.